Tonight, growth spurt halted.
This is somewhat of a correction of that.
The reasons for a sudden slowdown in Waterloo Region's population surge, and
we have to continue to invest back into our culture because those are the things that keep people.
How it could affect planning. The slow drip discussion on the region's water issue.
So we asked to increase that to do basically double that because we have the demand. So basically we have a wait list.
A special council meeting produces a few new decisions, but even more questions. Plus, more trouble near the tracks.
In the last 365 days, we've had 74 collisions with the LRT.
The crashes along the LRT line putting drivers into focus.
Good evening. We begin with Waterloo Region's population boom, which appears to have hit the brakes. A new regional report shows the population grew by fewer than 100 people last year after years of explosive growth that was tied largely to international students. As CTV's Spencer Turcott tells us, the slowdown could reshape regional planning in the years ahead.
For years, Waterloo Region was one of the fastest growing communities in the country. But a new regional report shows that rapid growth has come to a virtual standstill.
We're still growing. It's just the composition of our population is changing.
The region estimates the population grew by just 90 people in 2025. That's a dramatic slowdown compared to 2023, when the region added nearly 28,500 people in a single year. The report points to one major reason: a sharp drop in international students following federal caps on study permits.
We didn't expect, had you asked us 10 years ago, to see the influx of students that we did have. This is somewhat of a correction of that.
Waterloo Region saw a net decline of more than 9,000 students in 2025 alone. Officials say because Waterloo Region is home to several post-secondary institutions, the impacts are being felt more sharply here.
We had a lot of stories about students living in very precarious situations that I think is going to decrease over the next few years as we see that student population kind of level out a bit more.
Even with population growth slowing, housing construction is continuing. The report shows the region added more than 3,700 households in 2025, and developers say being competitive is what will help population numbers rebound.
We have to continue to invest back into our culture because those are the things that keep people. Employment drives people there, but what keeps people is our culture and activities for them to do with their family.
The report says the slowdown is expected to continue for the next few years. Still, regional officials are continuing to plan for a population of 1 million people by 2051. But that forecast doesn't factor in current water capacity constraints in the Mannheim service area, which has stalled the issuance of some building permits.
If this crisis were to occur, this is probably the most ideal time for it to occur due to various different market conditions and also immigration. That said, this should be a wake-up call.
Spencer Turcott, CTV News Kitchener.
And the region's water capacity concern was back on the agenda today during a special meeting. Regional councillors raised all kinds of questions, concerns, and ideas, although few new decisions were made. CTV's Colton Weens is live with more. Colton, we should note there is an ongoing effort to deal with the future, but today a new measure to try to help people be more efficient with water use.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. That's one of the takeaways today. Regional Council did approve new money for a program designed to help residents and businesses be more efficient with water. They'd also like to explore updating a water conservation bylaw, but most of the discussion revolved around where things stand and whether the bigger picture is being fully understood by all involved. A long meeting with a lot of discussion, but a slow drip of solutions. Regional Council approving an additional $400,000 to expand audits for homes and businesses that want to be more water efficient and help businesses pay for projects to do it.
So we asked to increase that to do basically double that because we have the demand. So basically we have a wait list.
Council's also approved reviewing the region's current water usage bylaw, which right now asks residents to limit outdoor water use to once a week during peak times, suggesting there needs to be a further step between that and an all-out ban.
So that, if things are starting to get dicey, we can move to here without going to an all-out ban.
But much of the meeting surrounded council's concerns about the water that's available in the community. Several asked if further constraints are needed or if the cost of water should be increased. But officials say the message is still the same. Ever since the capacity issue in the Mannheim service area was identified last year, consumption levels are fine. The concern is for when the community starts growing.
I think there are still those in the community, including potentially some members of council, that still don't quite understand that. And I don't mean that as a knock, but so when we message that the constraint is not going to be resolved through conservation measures, we say that conservation is a good mitigating strategy. It helps the situation not get worse so we can do the work needed to solve the constraint.
An expert in municipal water systems told council the region is actually the top community in the country for water conservation and one of 2 communities in Canada that has a bylaw restricting outdoor residential water use to once a week.
I am constantly using Region of Waterloo's programs as examples for other communities. To the best of my knowledge, the only other large urban community in Canada that has a comparable level of consumption is your neighbor city of Guelph.
The region is one of the only communities in Canada that relies on groundwater. Mahar says many residents are already going above and beyond to reduce their usage, but it's important to keep educating any newcomers on why it's needed.
So yeah, we still have to keep up that education outreach effort, and it just gets a little bit more challenging when the community gets bigger and bigger.
So the message today, reducing water consumption is important, but it's not necessarily going to fix the capacity concern for the future. More recommendations on the broader problem are expected soon as a working group keeps council updated on what it's learning. Tony.
All right, it is an item in progress. Colton, thank you. CTV's Colton Weens with the latest on the water discussion. Time for a first check on weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon in studio now for a look at what I would call, I feel like I said this yesterday, but today was even more perfect than yesterday.
You did say it yesterday, Tony, and I feel like we're going to say it again tomorrow because this week has in fact been really perfect on the spring scale of things.
Yes.
Especially considering what a hard start we had to May. We're really ending things on the right note with lots of sunshine, warmer temperatures, and even a light breeze. Now, as we take a quick look at our radar behind us, there is not much going on, and that means no precipitation is expected, at least for the next 24 hours. We might not even see much in the way of cloud cover until late tomorrow afternoon. So very clear conditions are expected through the overnight hours. Right now, we're still sitting at a very comfortable 19 degrees, a north wind of 20 kilometers an hour. So a beautiful light breeze, perfect maybe for dinner on the patio tonight. Around the region, temperatures very comfortable. The coldest part along the coastline there in Goderich, 11 degrees and 13 in Sarnia. So, Tony, what we're going to need for the next few days, sunscreen and a hat, but I'll have those details coming up a little later in the show.
It is almost June. Okay, Ash, thank you very much. Appreciate it. There have been more than 70 collisions in the last year along the LRT line in Kitchener-Waterloo. One of them, earlier this week, caused a derailment and left the driver of a truck charged. CTV's Heather Centerin now with the messages about being safe while driving near the tracks.
Security video shows the moment of impact. A white pickup truck attempts to turn left, but instead collides with an LRT train, pitting the truck against the utility pole and forcing the train off the tracks.
But it was definitely scary.
Josh Eckert's Tuesday commute to work on the Ion was jarring. The LRT and truck collided around 11 a.m. on King Street West near Andrew Street. There were no injuries, but passengers felt the impact.
Just a loud boom, basically, and then the train shook.
Passengers on the Ion frazzled. Eckert took this image of the truck driver's mirror that came flying through the side door of the train, breaking the glass.
In the moment, there was chaos because everyone was freaking out as soon as the first hit.
The driver of the truck, a 41-year-old man, was charged with careless driving. There are no left turn and no U-turn signs at the intersection.
A good scan of the tracks.
Young Drivers of Canada says drivers are often not paying attention to road signs, especially near train tracks, or in some cases, they choose to ignore them.
I think the big thing is to look around and be aware because there's extra signage at those places.
Keeping your head on a swivel at all times is key.
We need to check our blind spots over our shoulder because the train likely came out of the blind spot and the driver didn't look and therefore didn't see it and turned right in front of it.
Waterloo Regional Police say crashes like this happen far too often.
In the last 365 days, we've had 74 collisions with the LRT within the region, and 22 of those involved injuries to the drivers or to other people that were involved in the collisions.
Police warn that in some cases, you won't even hear the train coming before it's too late.
It is electrically powered, so it doesn't have that auditory piece that other motor vehicles might have that are powered by diesel or gasoline.
The region of Waterloo tells CTV News Keolis is still assessing the damage to both the train involved and light rail infrastructure, encouraging all road users to stay alert near the ion tracks at all times. Heather Centerin, CTV News Kitchener.
3 Kitchener schools took security precautions today because of an armed robbery in the area. West Heights Drive, Driftwood Park, and Meadowvale were placed in hold and secure at around 1 p.m. That was lifted around an hour later. Regional police say they believe the victim was selling an item via a buy and sell website and met up with the suspect who stole it. 2 young people went after the suspect and reported to police that they pulled a gun on them. There's been no suspect description. The loss of prime farmland is once again in the spotlight in Waterloo Region. Yesterday, we told you about a developer's push to turn farmland north of Hespeler into 4,000 homes. Some say it's a question of when and not if more developments like this will be coming up. CTV's Jeff Pickle joins us now with more. Jeff, you spoke with a local farmer who is very concerned about urban expansion.
Well, Tony, Mike and Sarah Bechtel spoke at the Cambridge Council meeting. Their farm is just north of the proposed development, and they know it's just a matter of time before their family farm is also eaten up. But they think people are not truly aware of what they are losing.
Our family came to this region in 1802.
It's just under 120 acres of prime farmland.
My grandfather probably milked about 20 cows back in the day, but
with 60 head of dairy cattle, nearly 20,000 chickens, and decades of hard work and memories.
So my grandfather bought this farm in 1929. Yeah, my father was born in the farmhouse here.
But the Bechtels say their nearly century of work on the family farm may soon be over, with urban expansion creeping closer.
Like, we've seen the city of Cambridge and Kitchener keep growing towards us, and every year it gets more and more difficult to find land to rent.
Located just north of the current city boundary, Bechtel says his dreams of handing down the farm to the next generation is far from certain.
This land that we're on, this is way more than a number on a spreadsheet to us. It's an asset, yes, but the time it takes from generation to generation to nurture that ground, to treat it well, to plant trees, it's more than simply an economic calculus.
According to the Ontario Federation of Agriculture, the Bechtels are hardly the only farmers being displaced by developers.
It's like death by 1,000 cuts. You know, the first few cuts don't hurt and the next few cuts don't hurt either, but they actually do cumulatively.
Between 2016 and 2021, over 500,000 acres of farmland in Ontario was lost, averaging over 300 acres a day, more than double the rate of loss 20 years ago.
Take that in the context of 95% of this province doesn't have soil that you can grow food on. Yet we are losing all of that farmland on the 5% of Ontario, which is actually productive prime farmland.
For the Bechtels, it's about more than just the tradition of farming.
We need to preserve this land. If we don't take care of our soil, we cannot make a living. The soil provides the feed that we need to feed our cows, and if we don't look after it, we don't make a living.
And while the years may be numbered for their family farm, they hope the community knows what it's giving up.
We're a very small family farm in the grand scheme of things. Every day, we ship 1,500 liters of milk that goes to consumers. That's every day, 1,500 liters, and that's straight to people's tables.
And as for that proposed development just south of the Bechtel farm, the application was turned down, but since that area is now inside the urban boundary of Cambridge, really it's only a matter of time before it is developed. Tony?
Jeff, thank you. CTV's Jeff Pickle with that report. An Ottawa mother of 3 is sharing her story after she and her 2 teenagers and adult son found themselves living in a tent in the woods, highlighting what advocates call hidden homelessness. Families living without stable housing are often out of public view, struggling to find it. CTV's Caitlin Wilson reports.
Piece by piece, Amy Ayers is taking down the place her family has briefly called home. For the past few weeks, she's been living in this tent with her 3 kids, their dog and cat, tucked inside a forest in a conservation area owned by the City of Ottawa, but now a way out.
We have a friend who had reached out, and we're staying there for now, and they're going to help us to get to where we need to be.
She says the hardest part has been trying to keep her family together while running out of places that would take all of them, including their pets.
They either didn't have anywhere that would accommodate us all as a whole, or there was no room.
She says it wasn't just one thing that led them here. After the pandemic, Ayers left her job as a personal support worker for mental health reasons and now relies on social assistance. She says her oldest son works a full-time fast food job, but even with their combined income, it's still not enough to afford rent.
Everything became like a snowball, and your Ontario works, you're kind of like labeled, so you're kind of like skipped over or told, oh, I'm sorry, and they move on to the next.
Her story comes as the city shelter system remains under pressure and the number of households waiting for subsidized housing continues to grow, reaching more than 16,000 at the end of last year, the average wait between 5 and 8 years.
You have families with children as the biggest group of people in our shelter system. We can absolutely be doing more than we are, and that's not on the city only. That is a national issue, that is a provincial issue, and we need those levels of government to step up.
And for Ayers, the first step to getting back on her feet is to find a permanent place of her own to call home.
This isn't where I want to be. I didn't ask to be here, but like I said, it could happen to anybody.
That's CTV's Caitlin Wilson reporting from Ottawa. Well, coming up later on CTV News, an institution in Stratford marks a major milestone. We'll have a report from the 90th anniversary celebration at the Shakespeare Garden.
I'm Alexandra Hollick. Also tonight, a modular solution for childcare in Waterloo Region. The Quick Build Center's bringing nearly 200 new spaces to Kitchener. That story is just ahead.
Cool, clear conditions are expected through the overnight hours, but what will tomorrow and your weekend bring? Those details with your full forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
The region of Waterloo has come up with a modular solution to a persistent childcare problem. The plan is to create more than 175 new spaces by the end of this year at 2 modular childcare centers. CTV's Alexandra Hollick joining us live now with more details on this story. All right, Alexandra, first things first, what is a modular childcare center?
Well, it all comes down to how it's built, Tony. While the structure itself is similar to typical childcare centers, it takes less time to assemble on site, which means families here in Waterloo Region can get a childcare spot sooner.
The region of Waterloo is looking to fill the gap in childcare spaces one piece at a time, using modular childcare centers to speed up the process.
It's like an efficient way to create new childcare spaces.
Parts of the structure are built in a factory. Then they're assembled on location, cutting on-site construction time from several months to just a few weeks.
It takes just a few months for them to build the modular units and then bring them in. So it is more quick and less disruptive at the location.
The idea stems from Manitoba's Daycare in a Box model, unveiled in 2024. Both structures will be in Kitchener, the first of their kind for this province.
These go far beyond what portables are. They are full childcare centers that include several classrooms for the children, office space, kitchen, full operating kitchen, washrooms, full plumbing.
The centers will offer 88 spaces each, serving 176 children. One will be located at Smithson Public School and will be operated by Rising Oaks Early Learning.
We're focusing on how can we make this a space that's welcoming for the children, that's conducive to learning, particularly in the early years, and includes materials that are sustainable.
The other location at Howard Robertson Public School will be the second Indigenous-led childcare center in Waterloo Region.
The entire daycare is all about culture. It's about coming in there and smelling the medicines, being able to participate in smudging.
Having this is more accessible for the families, so we can hit more of our target market for the families that bring in the culture back for them as well.
The region set aside $4.4 million to purchase the centers back in 2025. With construction on the units already underway, the centers are expected to open by the end of this year, while the spaces will be funded through the Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare Agreement.
The cost will be $22 per day, regardless of the age of the children.
One list registration for both centers is expected to open up in the coming weeks, and parents and guardians who are signed up should receive details on how to register their children soon. Tony.
All right, Alexandra Hollick reporting. Thank you. The Ford government today unveiled Ontario's first ever defence industrial strategy as it looks to expand the sector's investment in this province. Premier Doug Ford outlined the strategy at the annual CanSec Arms Expo in Ottawa. The event sees hundreds of military equipment companies gathering, hoping to sell their wares. According to the government, the province's 10-year framework is dedicated to growing the defence industry in Ontario while positioning companies and workers here for long-term success. The Premier noted that this comes at a time when Canada and its allies are responding to increasing global uncertainty with record defense spending.
We're home to over 300 defense firms, directly employing over 13,000 workers and offering products and services all over the globe. I always say we'll put our workers against anyone in the world. We'll put our technology and ingenuity against everyone in the world or anyone in the world. We have one of the biggest networks of world-class universities with 94,000 STEM graduates every single year, top-tier research institutions, and more high-skilled workers than anywhere in Canada.
The Premier also pointed to Ontario's capacity to generate electricity and the province's deposits of critical minerals. He says the strategy could add $400 million to provincial coffers every year by 2035, while also making Ontario a key player in the defense industry. All right, we have a live look right now at the Avon River in Stratford and a blue heron roaming around. You know, a really great day to be by the water today, whether you're in the water or just by the water. Ashley's back a little bit later in the show to let us know how the weekend is looking. And also coming up, rallying for those who are fighting and remembering those who've been lost. A cancer fundraiser brings generations together at a Kitchener high school. But next, ahead of a key visit, the Prime Minister is facing questions about Canada's stance on China and its dealings with the country. Well, Ashley's here with our long-range forecast. I only came back yesterday from an extra long weekend, so it kind of hit me today that it's Thursday already.
Isn't that a nice feeling?
And yeah, these 3-day work weeks are great.
Yeah.
And I decided that even though it's not summer yet, it was going to officially be summer suit season.
Well, looking sharp, if I do say so myself. And I mean, it is absolutely that change in weather has finally happened. A little later in spring than I think a lot of people were hoping, but you know, better late than never.
If you haven't done it yet, get out the shorts, get out the tans, get out the sandals, all of the summer things. I think we're starting to really believe that we're seeing a shift here after a very sluggish spring.
Well, and you mentioned it earlier in the show, believe it or not, June is on Monday.
Yeah, it is.
So it's sort of snuck up on me. I don't know about you, but it feels like it snuck up on me a little bit. And you know what? Only a couple weeks into June, then it's officially summer. So.
It is. I thought you were going to say something else about a few weeks into June, but
well, you know.
We'll put a pin in that. Yeah. Discuss that another day.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's take another look back outside from Stratford this afternoon. Beautiful shot there along the Avon River with Dave Pettit, our camera operator, bringing us this shot tonight. Thank you, Dave. It's absolutely stunning. Take a look at the sky. Nothing but blue. Not even a cloud in sight. There is a light breeze. So again, I know I keep saying it, but it is absolutely perfect weather to get out there and enjoy it. Not too hot, not too humid. So if you want to go for an evening stroll, maybe a jog, perfect night to do so. As we take a look at our futurecast, nothing but clear skies continuing to the overnight hours and into your Friday. It's not really until later into Friday afternoon that we might get a little bit of cloud cover moving through. But once that's pushed through, again, nothing but clear skies expected for your Saturday. Taking a look at what's happening across the country right now, what a gorgeous day on the West Coast and through Alberta as well. 23 in Vancouver, 19 in Victoria, 28 in Edmonton, 29 in Fort McMurray, and nothing but sunshine. Great news there. Moving through the prairie provinces, a very warm day. Saskatoon 34, Regina 34, Winnipeg 33, Thompson 29, even up in Yellowknife 17 and sunny. Beautiful day there. As we move towards our nation's capital on the East Coast, we are getting a little cooler, but still very pleasant conditions for this time of year. 20 degrees for Toronto and Windsor, 19 for Ottawa, and 18 in Montreal. And then on the East Coast, things take a little bit of a turn. Slightly cooler, slightly darker conditions there. We're looking at cloud cover and rain for most of the areas. Halifax 7, some rain. Fredericton 9 with a bit of cloud. And St. John's, the sun's trying to peek through there, but temperatures low at just 3 degrees. Here in Waterloo Region, 19 for right now, so not too bad. Around the coastal line there, Sarnia 13, Goderich 11, so a little cooler there. Now overnight tonight, it's definitely going to be a great night to keep your windows open and get that breeze indoors because it's dipping down to 6 degrees. Perfect sleeping weather, clear conditions. If you're a stargazer, get out and enjoy. Tomorrow, temperatures rising back up to 23 degrees. Another sunny day is expected, and that wind 30 kilometers an hour expected through mostly the morning hours. As we take a look at our almanac, back in 1927, reaching an overnight low of -1.1. So getting to 6 tonight, not nearly as bad, even though it's a little cooler than seasonal. Our 7-day forecast starting in Waterloo Region. Check out that weekend, Tony. Perfect for you. 19 and sunny, both Saturday and Sunday. To start your June off, 19 degrees is the expected daytime high with a very small chance for rain. In Lambton-Kantestic, similar conditions expected there. Beautiful Friday ahead, 28 degrees, the expected daytime high, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, sunny and 22. Not a bad way to end May. Southern Georgian Bay, 18 and mainly sunny for your Friday, 18 for Saturday, and 19 for Sunday. So not bad at all. Let's take a look at today's Weather Watch picture. You're going to get a laugh at this. Daryl, who snapped this picture of a blue heron catching a fish along the Avon River in Stratford the other day. I wonder if this is the same bird we just saw in that live shot. And as you said during it, a perfect way to spend the week by the water.
That could very well be.
It might be the same bird.
The same one. Only we got him in a more sort of relaxed state here, and then in the live shot, he was looking for supper, I think.
Okay, well, he's got a fish in his mouth there, Tony.
Oh, wait a minute. I needed to look more closely. Yeah, the monitor that I'm looking at is small, but he certainly does appear to have dinner served.
So great minds thinking alike, Daryl and Dave, our camera operator. Great spot. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, good spot for photo taking and just for relaxing by the water today.
Absolutely.
Beautiful conditions. Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
Ahead of a visit to Ottawa tonight by China's foreign minister, the Carney government is facing increasing pressure from Chinese Canadians, human rights activists, and the opposition to bring up transnational repression. There are also concerns about a security agreement that the Prime Minister is refusing to release. CTV's Judy Trin has more.
Signs of what awaits China's top diplomat. Protest from Uyghur dissidents and religious practitioners of Falun Gong. Both groups have been persecuted by Beijing, including Li Zhehe. His brother is in a Chinese prison.
Li Zhong was abducted from our family home by communist Chinese police.
The demonstrators want Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand to raise the issues of transnational repression with her counterpart, Wang Yi. A particular concern, a security agreement signed by Prime Minister Mark Carney and President Xi Jinping in January.
The Prime Minister have refused to disclose it. When will they produce the memorandum of understanding that was signed with Communist China?
We don't make a habit of releasing security documents with other governments for reasons of operational security. That is standard practice for this government.
The Prime Minister renewed a previous agreement signed by Justin Trudeau in 2016. Since then, the two Michaels were arrested and detained, Chinese police stations were found operating in Canada, and the foreign interference trial of former RCMP officer William Miker revealed that at least 25 permanent residents have been coerced into returning to China.
We cannot keep catering to the regime that is the top perpetrator of transnational repression in the world.
When Yi arrives, deepening economic ties will be on the table. But this Canadian citizen who received asylum after being detained by Beijing hopes human rights will be too.
We should not forget Canadian values.
The last time Wang Yi set foot on Parliament Hill was in 2016. He berated a Canadian reporter who asked about China's record of human rights. Yi isn't expected to take questions this time. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
And the Prime Minister borrowed a phrase from Donald Trump when he spoke in New York today. Just ahead, a report on Mark Carney's visit to the city and his message to a business audience.
A Day is back on 105.3 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff KP and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000 every weekday. 5K a day. Virgin Radio.
Prime Minister Mark Carney used President Trump's own words when he addressed elite business leaders in New York today. Carney told them a strong Canada will help make America great again. His speech touted Canada's plans for economic growth while still inviting investment from our closest neighbor. CTV's Graham Richardson reports.
In the heart of the world's financial capital, Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered his message of change in Canada. This is the Economic Club of New York, where presidents and prime ministers have come to speak for more than 100 years. Carney never mentioned President Donald Trump by name, but he didn't have to.
Canada Strong will help make America great again.
Whether it's LNG announcements, potential new pipelines, or boosting defense spending, Carney told the home of big American money the story of a different Canada under his leadership.
That future should include a new partnership with Canada, a true partnership that reimagines cooperation in specific sectors that are deeply challenged by global competition, a partnership with a different Canada, a stronger Canada, a more confident Canada.
Back in Ottawa, a different perspective from the opposition, accusing the Liberals of chasing investment away for years.
His elbows were again flapping up and down in the rhetorical chicken dance as he cannot seem to decide if integration with the U.S. is a strength or a weakness. He's argued passionately for both positions in the last 3 months alone.
Carney also spent a significant amount of time here on Canada's military spending, especially in the north.
We did need to step up to take more responsibility for Arctic security. We're doing that now.
And support for Ukraine in a conflict he says is significantly tilting against Russia.
But Russia's losing 35,000 troops a month. 22 to 23, depending on the month, of those troops are killed. They're losing troops faster than they can replace them.
So no mention of Donald Trump by name, but Justin Trudeau's name didn't come up either. Mark Carney signaling to American business Canada is open for business again, hoping they'll hear it, and also hoping the audience of one in the White House heard it too. Graham Richardson, CTV News, New York.
All right, let's check in with Leanne Evans in studio for our top stories tonight. Waterloo Region's years-long population boom has almost come to a halt.
Officials estimate the population grew by just 90 people in 2025. The report says the slowdown is largely tied to a sharp drop in international students following federal caps on study permits. Waterloo Region saw a net decline of more than 9,000 students last year alone. Officials say the impacts are being felt more sharply here because of the region's large post-secondary population. Regional councillors raised questions and concerns around the water capacity crisis during a special meeting today. Regional Council approved an additional $400,000 to expand audits for homes and businesses that want to be more water efficient and help businesses pay for projects to do it. Most of today's discussion revolved around where things stand and whether the bigger picture is being fully understood by all involved.
And Leanne, looking at our website tonight, the Kitchener Rangers, as we've said, one win away from lifting the Memorial Cup. Our digital team has some details on where you can take in the final here at home.
Yeah, the team will play for the trophy Sunday. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, since it is being played on the West Coast in British Columbia, a watch party has been announced between the organization and the city for fans here in Waterloo Region. You can find out where that is happening by scanning the QR code, downloading the CTV News app, or going to ctvnewskitchener.ca. I think we got a big hint there for you.
A little bit, yeah. Probably be a lot of people who are kind of relieved at the 7 p.m. Eastern start versus the 9 p.m. That'll make a Sunday
I am.
That'll make a Sunday night a little easier to watch the game.
We've been having to stay up late.
Yes, very much so. All right, go Rangers. Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you.
Hundreds of students at a Kitchener high school spent today outside raising money for cancer research. As CTV's Karis Mapp tells us, Relay for Life supports those who are fighting the disease as well as people in recovery.
Pies to the face and photo booths were all part of the celebrations at St. Mary's High School's Relay for Life. The fundraiser supporting cancer research.
We have almost 500 students raising money for the Canadian Cancer Society, so it's a pretty special day.
Raising over $400,000 since 2018, this year's donation adding to that total.
This year we're going to be close to 60, maybe over $60,000.
The top fundraiser this year, Ava Medonti, raising $1,400. The grade 10 student has a special connection to the relay.
When I was 10, I got diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, which is a type of bone cancer, and I battled for a year and a half. And I'm cancer-free now.
Cancer-free and enjoying the day with her friends, a goal that helped keep her going during treatment.
It was kind of hard because it was during COVID, so I was a bit isolated. It was always just me and my mom in a hospital room every day. So it got a bit lonely at times.
I'm so proud of her for making it this far. We're almost at the 5-year post-diagnosis, and yeah, this day is very emotional, and I'm so very proud of her.
She walks the talk. She's the biggest fundraiser. It just makes me super proud that she just steps up and just shows her friends that I can do this, so you can do this too.
Her peers stepping up to do the bulk of the event's organization.
It's just really being part of something much bigger than yourself, and it's so meaningful to see the impact just on this such large scale.
There's kind of that mentality that, what is the youth possible of doing and creating? The change that they do is incredibly important and remarkable, and this is just evidence of that here today.
The fundraising walk happens at hundreds of schools across the country every year, putting those with experience fighting cancer at the forefront.
It feels great to know that I'm not the only one who goes through these struggles, and even if it doesn't impact someone personally, it can always be with their loved ones as well.
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
Later on CTV News, 90 years of tranquility. A sanctuary in Stratford marks a big anniversary. We'll be checking in live with CTV's Krista Simpson, who's there to tell us more. Two high school students near Listowel are premiering an original musical, which they co-wrote and star in. CTV's Scott Miller has more on their creative process and their inspiration.
Cameron and Tyler Wood are a pair of Perth County twins who have spent the better part of a year writing a musical about fitting in a small town.
It's funny because we're twins in almost every sense of the way, because we're good at the same things and we like the same things, so we just do all the same thing.
Every year we hold a festival.
The 17-year-old aspiring artists both wrote My World is a Fishbowl. Cameron acts as the main character, based in Egan Cove, a fictional small town not unlike rural southern Ontario. It premieres tonight at the Black Door Theatre at the Twins High School, Listowel District Secondary.
It feels really surreal. It feels like I can't believe that I did this. And then that I'm watching you do it feels crazy. I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of everyone that's part of it.
High school students write original plays all the time, say their teachers, but a musical is another level.
When I heard that they were doing an original play, I was like, that's awesome. And then I heard that they were doing an original musical, and I was like, that's crazy.
The musical required more than just the artistically inclined students to pull off. Teachers say everyone from the construction to cosmetology students took part.
When I think about everything that goes into that, you need sewists, you need people who are into cosmetology and our MUAs, and Listowel District Secondary School, we have programs for all of those people, and then we get to bring them all together through a lot of hard work to make magic.
My World is a Fishbowl opens tonight at Listowel District Secondary with shows Friday and Saturday as well. The Wood twins say this may be their first musical, but it will most certainly not be their last.
I keep telling people this is only the beginning, because you're gonna, next time we're on the radio, it's gonna be music. Next time we're on TV, it's gonna be something else. And just watch out. Just watch out. I'm writing like 2 other musicals right now, okay? Exactly. Wow. I don't know what for, I'm just doing it.
In Listowel, Scott Miller, CTV News.
And more news in a moment, but first, let's head over to the star of our show, Ashley.
Tony, but thank you. Cooler night ahead. Lots of stars to be seen tonight if you look up in the sky. But what will tomorrow morning bring? Those details just ahead after this break. Start your night off with E-Talk, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Then it's back-to-back Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, and ×2 children ruin everything. Cap your night off with Traders Canada at 10.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, let's check in with Leanne for a story our team is watching for later tonight. Leanne.
Tony, Waterloo MPP Catherine Fife reintroduced her bill, Lydia's Law, at Queen's Park yesterday. It calls for more accountability and transparency in how sexual assault cases are handled. 130 supporters showed up, including Lydia herself. The bill was debated but ultimately voted down by the Ford government. We'll bring you more details on that at 11:30. Tony.
Okay, Krista, Leanne, thank you for that. I was going to mention that we're going to join Krista Simpson in just a second, Ashley, but first of all, a look at our wake-up weather.
Yes, check out this board. It is going to be another beautiful morning. Tomorrow, 8 degrees by 6 a.m., so a little chillier than this morning, but again by 10 a.m., same as today, 17 and sunny. So sunglasses, a hat, and some sunscreen, necessary accessories for your Friday.
Absolutely, and all of them welcome accessories for our Friday. And finally for us tonight, we were there a little bit earlier via a live shot. A peaceful oasis in Stratford is marking a milestone. The Shakespeare Garden is 90 years old today.
It opened on May 28th, 1936, and it continues to thrive thanks to a committed group of volunteers.
Let's go now to CTV's Krista Simpson live in Stratford tonight for more. Krista.
Tony and Ashley, I'm in this beautiful and peaceful green space tucked away next to the Avon River, where plants and flowers and herbs are grown. Now, the botanical elements here are inspired by the works of William Shakespeare. This location was once the site of a woolen mill that burned down in 1922, and the owners decided not to rebuild. Once that decision was made, R.T. Orr, the man behind Stratford's park system, pushed to make the site a Shakespearean garden. Plans were delayed by the Great Depression, but ultimately the project did go ahead in the mid-1930s, opening, as we said, in 1936. The garden is now taken care of by a group of enthusiasts and history buffs called the Friends of the Shakespeare Garden. A celebration was held today to mark the anniversary, with the chair of the Friends group reflecting on what it was like when the site was opened 90 years ago.
And on this very day in 1936, 90 years ago, the Governor General of Canada was here and dedicated this site, which was pretty exciting for the day to have a Governor General travel from Ottawa.
It is a big part of our current city and what we're known for. We're known for our beauty, we're known for our park system, and it allows, I guess the other piece is it allows residents and tourists to absorb a space at the same time, the same space.
So as you heard, this garden is certainly seen as a very special place for all in Stratford. It also recently was given an official heritage designation, so certainly a place that is much loved and appreciated over the years. Tony and
a
Ashley.
treasure in the festival city. Krista, thank you. Appreciate it. Krista Simpson live in Stratford. All right, Ash, that does it for us for tonight. And of note tonight, for the first night in a long time, and the tie-in here is that it's a good night to get outside because there's no hockey to catch up on tonight.
I know, you get a little break.
Yep.
But yeah, it is a perfect night to be in a garden, just like Krista was.
And just to bring people up to speed on the Memorial Cup, because it ended up being an elimination last night. So the Everett Silvertips defeated the host Kelowna Rockets, which means it's going to be Everett versus Chicoutimi in the semifinal, the winner going on to take on the Rangers on Sunday. So I'm sure that's going to be an exciting one to watch no matter who they face, either the champions of the WHL or the champions of the Q.
Can't wait to watch it. Lots of watch parties happening. Make sure to get one.
And early enough to meet your bedtime on Sunday night.
You got it.
We're back at 11:30. Have a good night. Take care.